to coordinate this partnership that is about supporting centers of vocational excellence to become more entrepreneurial. Being entrepreneurial is a journey, okay? So we are all entrepreneurial in some way, and we can all be more entrepreneurial. The big, let's say, bet of our partnership, of our project, is to go beyond training provision to help being entrepreneurial and think of centers of excellence as organizations that in their as a whole organization want to be more entrepreneurial. So I welcome you all, both the centers of vocational excellence with whom we have been working in the last 2 years, and also to the newcomers and those who are interested to know about our experience. Today's webinar is really about sharing experience. It's really about the centers of vocational excellence being in the center and sharing among peers what they have done to become more entrepreneurial, why they have done why they decided to choose certain activities and new training products to become more entrepreneurial. And also we will concentrate on the how, not only the what, but also the how. By the how, we mean coaching as a method that ETF has experimented for the first time in this partnership. Coaching goes beyond peer learning in a more, let's say, reactive way to really demand action to happen. And this is what we have been doing, organizing tailored coaching sessions for each of the COVES in our partnership. But let me take just a couple of minutes to share with you the methodology that we have used, because we believe that both the what, meaning what you want to do to become more entrepreneurial, but also the how are important, because being entrepreneurial, as we said, is a journey, it's a process, and it demands care, it demands resources, it demands commitment in the medium term. And coaching is rightly meant to be that. In the chat, thank you, Loretta, you can find all information about what we have been doing together in the last 2 years. And after the webinar, if you want to know more, please contact us in ETF and we will be very glad to share with you. This partnership is part of an ETF wider project called ETF Network for Excellence. And it's a network of centers of vocational excellence around the world. So very welcome again. And with the kind support of my colleague Enea, thank you Enea, we can start also with our PowerPoint presentation that gives, will help us to go through our event. So, as I said, coaching. We believe in ETF that we would like to support centers of excellence in a tailored way. And so we tried with this innovative methodology. But how did we start? First of all, the 5 centers of excellence that are part of this partnership decided by themselves which are the priority areas and products or new services that they intend to be functional to become more entrepreneurial. As you know, entrepreneurship is a wide concept, is multifaceted. Sometimes it's even difficult to define. In this respect, in this project, we have also tried to define what is an entrepreneurial center of vocational excellence. I will come back to that at the end of our meeting today. But being on the coaching and on the making to become more entrepreneurial, the 5 centers decided that there are 4 areas that are essential to become more entrepreneurial. One is internationalization. The second one is digitalization. The third one is being more in line with sustainable development goals, meaning being more equitable, especially with respect to women entrepreneurship. And the last one is supporting better business incubators and startups. So this was the first step. Together with the identification of the priority areas, the schools that decided to work with us have identified the resources, because becoming entrepreneurial is not only about words and intention, it's really about passing into action. To do that, you need people, you need time, you need resources. And that's what each of the schools did in our journey. Next slide, please. And then we went to the step 2, the implementation of the coaching session. As I said, there were individual sessions with each COVE, and they were 3 of them. Each one lasted 2 hours. And let's go a bit more into the detail. In the first session, each school with the coaches, very important to notice that the coaches were not simply trainers, simply into brackets. They were professionals doing coaching as their profession. They were entrepreneurs themselves, entrepreneurs working in education, in training, so very familiar with the challenges of the schools, but also of the challenges of the labor market, of the market economy. So in the first session, each school presented to the coaches which priority areas they selected. So there were 2 areas among the 4 that we just seen, 2 areas per center. And then for each area, a new product or a new service that the school wanted to develop. Together with the what, it was very important in the first session to explore the why, the reasons why these 2 new products were selected. And this was the first reality check, because when you want to become entrepreneurial, more entrepreneurial, a reality check is a must. So, and reality check started with the why, and also with the resources that were available for this commitment to become true and to pass into action. Then there was a second session, and here each school went into more details about the products and the services, and each school presented a draft action plan, how to get to the production of new services. So here, the coaches were important because they commented the draft action plan and they helped the staff in the schools to realize better about the challenges, the opportunities, the critical factors. And then section 3, and this was about the final action plan. So it was about presenting the progress in the making of new products, or in the plan on how to produce new products and new services. And here again, the coaches provided feedback and recommendation. These recommendations go beyond the life of our project. And as a deliverable, as you see at the end of the slide, we think an important thing that was done is that an individual and confidential coaching report was given to each school by the coaches. And this was done, this is meant to be a support in the medium term. And there in the report, there are inputs and recommendations for action. Very, very important, and I'm very grateful that CARDET has been accompanying this process with us and has been coordinating all this process. So as a next point, next slide, please, I would like now to give the floor to my colleague from CARDET, Marinos, and to introduce us to the first session that is about internationalization. So thank you again. And Marinos, the floor is yours.
Good morning to all of you. Thank you very much, Maria Victoria. Greetings from Cyprus. Let me welcome all the participants in today's event, which is the second sharing session. My name is Marinos Papaioakim. I'm a project manager and researcher in CARDET, a research center in Cyprus, and the organization who is in charge to run and implement this project in collaboration, of course, and the guidance from our very good colleagues from the ENTRECOVES. For today, I will be the facilitator of the two panels in regards to the business incubator and startups and to the internationalization. I'm very happy for this sharing session. See, it gives the chance to the ENTRECOVES that are involved in this project to present their progress on their journey to become more entrepreneurial. Given that I was involved in all of the process and activities of the project, I will take the opportunity to congratulate in advance all of the ENTRECOVES for their efforts, for their commitment, and the progress in this project. And I believe that they can be described as successful entrepreneurial case studies. First of all, let me welcome our speakers. We have with us Ms. Cezara Fedescu, Deputy Director for Practical Training from the Center of Excellence in Economics and Finance in Moldova. Mr. Najib Hamoudi, Head of International Relations Department from the ESIF College in Morocco. And I think that we're going to have in few minutes Mr. Azizaga Antakichiev, Director of the Koicha Vocational Training Center in Azerbaijan. I assume that he was facing some technical issues, but we will see that during the discussion. During these two panels, we will have 2 rounds of questions where our speakers will share with us their experience and their progress during the coaching sessions. In the first panel, we will focus on the internationalization aspect, and more particularly the collaboration with international and European partners. At the beginning of the procedure, you call to select particular thematic areas of interest and then select specific products and services. So the first question, which goes to my colleague Najib, the first question is, what new services or what new products have you identified and would you like to produce? And as a complementary question, Najib, why did you select them specifically? What are the reasons behind your choice? So Najib, the floor is yours to explain your reasoning behind this selection.
Yes, thank you very much, Marinos, and many thanks to ETF for getting us together another time to share and learn with colleagues from many parts of the world. Well, this has been so far an amazing experience with the coaching sessions and all the support we got from ETF and from CARDET. So to answer your question, Marinos, so we identified many products. And as you remember, we started from some assumptions. Then the more we got into the discussion with you and other colleagues, the more it turned out to us that this is what we need and this is what we'd like to do. So the products that we wanted to do was first how to support students and graduates, because these are the target population. We identified training sessions. We identified networking with the entrepreneurial ecosystem. We identified financial support, how to connect business ideas holders to the funding institutions. I mean, those unusual ones. We are not talking about banks specifically, but about other schemes of funding. and we identified also the need for students to have guidance on entrepreneurial know-how. This is so far in a nutshell, and the reasons we choose these products was, as I said at the beginning today, we started with some assumptions, but we brushed up those assumptions. So the reasons we choose them is that we thought that our center, which is called ESIT Factory, is in Kuwait. It is in the process of experiencing, if you like, its first steps into the campus. So the reasons why we choose them was that we were thinking about having a place, a definite place where students and graduates can come and find all the support available. But we started, of course, from our own needs, and the things that we spotted as lacking, especially the question of having an entrepreneurial culture, an entrepreneurial dynamism among our students and graduates. And for your information, we also started a training program for our teachers on entrepreneurship, because we thought that entrepreneurship is not also only a matter which is important for students, but also teachers who are responsible for these students inside the classroom should be able to understand all the, if you like, the different aspects of entrepreneurship, so that they can also act as a support to students, even in a given course which has nothing to do with entrepreneurship. Did I answer your question, Marinos?
Yes, Najib. And just to mention, since, as I said, I was involved in all of the procedure, you tried to incorporate all of these activities in a new strategic internationalization plan that you attempt to develop, and this is, I mean, this is very important to have an internationalization strategy in order to fulfill all of these and implement, of course, all of these activities in a very successful manner. Thank you very much, Najib. Of course, you will tell us in a few minutes about your experience about the coaching sessions. As I can see, we have with us Mr. Azizaga. Is that right? Azizaga, are you here? Can you hear us?
Yes, Mr. Marinos. Sorry for being late because I've confused the time. I am here already.
No problem
okay.
at all. So I will throw you in the deep water from the beginning, since you joined now. It's the same question to you, Azizaga. I mean, you selected 2 thematic areas. One of them was internationalization. So the same question to you, Azizaga. Which areas, which product did you select to follow in order to implement? And please tell us the reasons behind the selection of this choice. The floor is yours, Azizaga.
Thank you very much, Mr. Marinos. Again, first of all, I would like to thank all ETF colleagues and you for your kind support. As we are since joining to the ETF network, we have participated some webinars and 3 coaching sessions. And we mainly, as previously mentioned, we are selected and participated 2 coaching sessions. First one is about SDG, training program for increasing skills of staff about SDG and women entrepreneurship. This was for our first product, and second was the internationalization, and to prepare an official internationalization strategy for our faith center. Why we choose this? Because
Azizaga, sorry for interrupting you. Apologies for this. If it's okay with you, it would be good if you can open your camera if it's technically
yeah.
good. I think it's
Yes,
important.
I try to open, but
Okay, if it's not
let me. Is it working? No.
No, if it's not working, it's all right. Please continue.
Let me try.
It's all right, Azizaga. Don't worry at all. You can continue. As you said, you were in the reasons. Please tell us the product and the reasons why you're selecting this particular product.
Why we are selecting? Because we want to ensure an active environment for our graduates and students and employers. We want to also develop new skills for our workers and learn best practice for in terms of vocational educational, especially in European experience, is much interesting for us. Also, we are also interested to develop a strategy for our center for future partnership with international and European partners. Also, we are interested to join future projects and participate activity in international exchange program. For that reason, this internationalization aspect is very important for us, and we think that in future we have chance to participate different kinds of international activities, especially related to WET. And the strategy mainly defines objectives, the 3 priority areas, as I noted here: internationalization of our center, learning, as mentioned, best practice, and mobility of our graduates and staffs. Why we also mention mobility of our graduates, we also want that our graduates be aware and be acquainted with the international experiences, best practices, and learn how this teaching and learning process is going other countries. And also our staff's experience and international exchange is also interesting for us, because we want to develop and increase our staff's mindset and their practices and their skills as well. And thank you so much, Marinos, and our colleagues. I appreciate your support, and I'm pleased to be part of this network. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Azizaga, for your insights, for your comments about the product. Just to repeat it, as in the case of ESIF College, the colleagues from Azerbaijan, they selected the internationalization, to develop an internationalization strategy, and that it seems that it was a need for both colleges. So now let's move to the next question, where we want to share with us your overall experience during the coaching sessions. Let me add at this point that all the ENTRECOVES that they are participating in this project, they prepare action plans for their products or services, and they had feedback from an experienced trainer, an expert in internationalization. And I will take the opportunity to welcome, to thanks all of our external trainers that they help the ENTRECOVES to implement their action plans. So my next question, starting from Azizaga: how coaching sessions have supported you towards your goal? What you have gained through this experience of the coaching session? Please, if you can do that in some bullet points.
Yes, Mr. Marinos, thank you for your question. Yes, especially this coaching session is help us to increase our our knowledge about internationalization. And we also learn how to internationalization process is going on in other European countries, vocational education. Also, we learn how to prepare the strategy, how to prepare our strategy, and we also acquainted various best practices, and the coaches also very supportive and share their experiences and give us some their advices, and this all is useful for us. And we also learn how to develop our capacities in terms of internationalization.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you very much for sharing this experience. What about you, Najib? I mean, what is your experience from the coaching, from the particular coaching session on internationalization? How the coaching sessions help you to fulfill and to implement this particular goal?
Yes. At the beginning of this webinar, Marie Victoria said that entrepreneurship is a journey. And indeed, the coaching sessions were themselves also a journey for us. So if you allow me, Marinos, I'd like to speak first about the highlight experience in the coaching sessions, which is the self-evaluation tool. That was really a very challenging experience for us in terms of answering the real questions, and also answering the questions which we ourselves we didn't have, I mean, the imagination to ask ourselves. So that was a very useful tool. Concerning internationalization for our copies, how the coaching sessions helped us. Very simply, if you like, our vision of internationalization when it comes to entrepreneurship was a little bit blurred and a little bit scattered around, if you like, some ideas. But when we were challenged by Marinos and the team, we came out to the conclusion that this is what we need. So instead of going to all directions, we should be clear about what we want to do exactly first, and then look for partners, not looking for any partner anywhere, etc. And then defining what is the reason for these partnerships. Are we seeking to have partnerships in order to learn and share, then stop there? Or are we looking for partnership which can be a transformational experience for us? And this is maybe one of the reasons why we focused more on looking for partners in the Erasmus Plus scheme, especially on the vocational education part. And I can tell you, I can announce you the good news, Marinos, is that we have submitted a project with some partners from European countries, Greece, Spain, Italy, and Turkey. We have submitted for an Erasmus Plus project, and I hope we will be successful. And it is about promoting the teaching of technical textiles in Morocco.
Thank you very much, Najib. This is really great news, and this is, of course, a very important aspect of the internationalization. Let me thank you both for your comments and insights. Just very briefly, 2 or 3 comments about the internationalization coaching sessions, and based on your experience, I had some notes here. First of all, as Najib said, first of all is the fact that you identify your needs. This was a very important aspect in all of the procedure. And of course, I kept also another note, the fact that you said that we need a partnership, not for the sake of the partnership, but real partnership that will be useful for us, that will transform us and give us the something extra to our college. The practical approach, which is something that we push for it, to be very practical during coaching sessions. I think we didn't include any theory in the coaching sessions, and of course the fact that was very tailor based and tailor focused on your needs. So at this point, I'm very happy to see how the ENTRECOVES in a very short period made such a progress. And your successful efforts, it's also successful for ETF and of course in this particular project. Let me pass the floor now back to Maria Victoria in order to open the discussion for the rest of the participants, if they have any questions or any comments about this first panel about internationalization. So Maria Victoria, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Marinos. Thank you, Najib and Azizaga. Yeah, internationalization touches upon everyone, and there is no escape in a way. And it's the beauty of it, but it demands some attention and some strategy and some resources. I don't know if other participants would like to share their experience in getting more international. If they have some tips to share about what works well or what worked well in their own experience, or if they have questions to Najib and Azizaga on their experience, their challenges, and how is it going. And yeah, the floor is open, really. You can just take the floor. Because this webinar, we didn't say that, but it is meant to be interactive. It's not a lecture style. It's really peer learning among colleagues. So, or even Azizaga and Najib, if you want to add anything, please.
Yes, thank you for giving me the floor again, Maria Victoria. Well, I wanted to be a little bit succinct when I said Marinos, but I didn't say everything. Well, indeed, this question of internationalization and the coaching sessions, what we could come out with as a precious takeaway is that internationalization is important. It's not a cherry on the cake. It's not something luxury, but this is something important for schools like us, because not only it's pragmatic wise, you find opportunities for technical support, and maybe also sometimes there are some financial schemes which allow you to buy even machinery if you want, but also in terms of opening you to the world so that you can measure yourself against what's happening in other places. And I feel really blessed and lucky to be here, for example, in this webinar from colleagues from places where I have never been, like, I don't know, like Azerbaijan or Armenia or so this is really a very rich and diverse context. And when you work internationally and you meet international partners, you can, for example, come out with the conclusions on what you are doing best and what you are doing less less well, if you like. And then you come back to your office and you say, this is, I'm proud of myself that I'm doing this, but also these are the things that I should improve on. Thank you.
Thank you, Najib. I have one question for you, very practical, because Erasmus Plus is for schools in partner countries of ETF, like you all, but also for vet centers in Europe, the big opportunity. Erasmus Plus is the door to new contents, new friends and colleagues, new mobility, new funding. So it embraces all what internationalization can bring, including the funding, because being international is costly. as well. Would you have something very practical to share about your experience in running for Erasmus Plus for this phase here? What was more difficult, but also what was more exciting for you? Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Maria Victoria, for this question. Well, indeed, one of the assets that we have here in our school is that we are at the same time a higher education institution and vocational institution. So what we did first was to tap on our existing network of friends and partners in Europe. And this is maybe, if I can say, this is the most, if like, the first challenge is to find partners. Finding partners also, but also having partners in which there is mutual trust between you, so that you can take this adventure together, because it's really an engagement and a commitment to work together on a project and submit it. So there should be not only mean introductions, but also trust, and partners should know each other very well. And the second challenge was for us, because we didn't have, if you like, between inverted commas, we didn't have a culture of internationalization, to be frank and honest about this. So the first challenge for us was the drafting experience. The drafting experience was difficult, but it was also a wonderful opportunity for us to learn, if you like, a skill of drafting projects. And of course, I'm grateful for our European partners who have been very supportive during this phase. Partners from Spain, Italy, Greece, and Turkey. And then we came to the practical side, which is drafting the project. So of course everything starts with needs analysis, and the issue was how can we identify something that we need to do here, which is also coherent with the profile of our partners. To be more concrete about this, how can we identify a project that will satisfy some needs, that will support us technically, of course, and at the same time, which will be, if you like, will be attractive for our partners also, so that they get motivated to work on this. And then we move to the practical side, which is as I said, drafting the project. So there were some of the things which were really technical. So I mean, to be honest with you, it was the first time that I worked on a Google Word document, which is a collaborative experience, and it was a little bit, I mean, a little bit strange experience to be working on the same document with people from 5 places in the world at the same time, and that you see that names are flopping on the document, and people are working on document at the same time. So of course, this is something which is purely IT issue, but the other thing is the conceptual framework of the project. How can we write a project which will convince the evaluators of the European Commission that this is something which we will render a great service to the part of the technical of the industry in Morocco, which is in this case the textile industry. And there was some of the questions, of course, which were challenging when we were drafting the report, and some questions which looked the same, but they were different. So, and this is just to remind, to come back to what I said again, that this experience of European projects was very formative for us, and we were very happy that we were able to make it at last and submit the projects. Sorry, I'm very talkative. You have to stop me. Maria Victoria, you're muted.
Any better now? Thank you very much, Najib. You very well resumed the different beauties and difficulties of running together for funds and ideas. Thank you. I'm aware we are a bit delayed, but I think it's all very interesting. So I apologize that we will go a few minutes beyond the expected time. And without hesitation, I give the floor back to Marinos and Enea for the presentation. We move to the part 2. That is how centers of vocational excellence can support business startups. This is a very triggering topic. So Marinos, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Maria Victoria. In this second panel, we will discuss about the second priority that was selected by the ENTRECOVES, which is the business incubators and support of startups. With no any delays, we'll proceed directly with the question to our two ENTRECOVES that they have selected in this particular area. We have with us, as I said before, Cezara Fedescu from the Center of Excellence in Economics and Finance in Moldova, and of course, Najib from the ESIF College. So let's begin with Cezara, and the question is, it's the same as in the first panel. So you selected business incubators and startups. What product specifically did you select? And why, Cezara? Why did you select them specifically? What are the reasons behind your choice? Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Marinos. First of all, I would like to greet all participants and coaching session organizers and express my gratitude to ETF for the opportunity to meet so many wonderful people here. As a result of the activities carried out and the assessment of the potentials through the application of the reflection tool, we decided to work on the development of a digital guide for young entrepreneurs that would reveal step-by-step the procedure of launching a business. We selected this type of product primarily because it fits perfectly into our curriculum area, and our teachers have sufficient competence in the economic and the entrepreneurial field and have extensive experience in developing similar products. Another reason was the increasing importance given to the small business sector in the Republic of Moldova and the continuous growth in the number of small enterprises created, businesses initiated mainly by people who do not have economic studies, but have viable business ideas. And the decisive reason was the lack of such guide written in state language and focusing directly on the legal requirement of the Republic of Moldova, which would describe in clear and accessible language all the basic steps of starting a business and its subsequent management. I think I answered your questions, Marinos.
Yes, absolutely, yes. And let me also congratulate you for all your commitment and hard work, Cezara. And let me also say to all of the participants that this particular guide, as a leak, I will say that this particular digital guide, you aspire, and of course with the guidance of our trainers, not to be only in the Moldova context, but there are also you know, some aspirations to be translated also in other language. But this is something that we can announce in a later stage. Now let's move to Najib. You also selected the business startups and incubators, and more particularly, if you allow me, Najib, you focus on a training workshops on promoting an entrepreneurial mindset in students with startup ideas. Why these particular training workshops? how they are aligned with your aspirations in the college. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Marie, for this question. So, yes, it's true that that was our choice, and of course, this stems from what we noted as some of the subjects which come into the discussion with our students. They felt the need that this is what is the need here, which is of course learning the fundamentals of entrepreneurship. So we could not take the risk of starting with very sophisticated business models. I don't know, artificial intelligence or business model which are too complicated, but we wanted to start with the fundamental, which is teaching the principles of entrepreneurship. And of course, to do this, we relied on professionals who have theoretical experience. I mean here, teachers, but we also relied on the entrepreneurs, some people with entrepreneurial experience. So at the same time, students can get, if you like, the necessary know-how, but also they can get the understanding of how this idea can be put into practice. Just to be more concrete here, I would like to provide the example of teaching a business modeling. Business modeling is the second stage that comes after ideation, and business modeling is very important because it helps students, if you like, design a business idea into a theoretical framework, into a framework. So we thought that it is very important for students to understand first what is a business model, to understand value proposition, market segments, channels, etc. And of course, we couldn't jump from ideation to business plan. We thought that the business plan is something important, but which is not really something of priority at the stage of in which we were, and this is how why we focused mainly on these products.
Thank you very much for your comments, Najib. And I will say also in your case with your team, and let's mention Kaudar here, that you're doing a great job in this field, and I'm sure that your students will be benefited through all of this procedure. Now let's move to the next question, as in the first panel, which is about the coaching sessions. If you can highlight, the most important points that you keep from the coaching sessions, from the business incubators. And at this stage, I will say that fortunately, we have with us a very well-experienced trainer on business and startups, and I think that was very beneficial for you in order to proceed with your products. So let's begin with Najib. At this stage, how was your experience in the business incubators coaching sessions, Najib? Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. So our experience with coaching session for business startup was very rewarding. Of course, we prepared our action plans for the future. That was a homework we did, and with this homework of preparing action plan, we did it with the support of the expert you just mentioned. And when you are drawing an action plan, the question is, what are the priorities? And this is one of the things why we are thankful to the coaching session, is that we were able to identify opportunities. Of course, what comes next here is also the question of how can we draw a framework of work or an action plan which will accelerate and boost our hope to achieve some objectives. We also learned how to create an atmosphere which is inspiration friendly and ideas friendly, and also how to think smartly. Of course, we used all the feedback from the experts of CARDET to improve our action plan, I think this is what's making the backbone of our if you like strategy in supporting the hopefully business startups that we wish to accompany in our entrepreneurship center, which is called Exit Factory.
Great, thank you very much, Najib. What about you, Cesara? What are your comments about the coaching sessions?
Thank you, Marina. I would like to mention that the coaching sessions were of a great importance for us, giving us not only informational support, but also effective suggestion for the continuous improvement of the developed product. We were honored to be guided in our work by experts of great competence, with whom we assessed not only our potential, but also identified possible risks. The experts sought us to focus on the beneficiaries and their needs. Thus, the structure and the contents of the guide were revised. The way the material was presented in the guide was revised. The area of beneficiaries of the guide was enlarged. Thus, while initially we planned to develop a guide only for our graduates, people with sufficient skills in the economic fields, at the suggestion of the experts, we decided to target all people who want to start a business, regardless of whether they have knowledge in the field of entrepreneurship. Obviously, the contents of the guide have been revised and the material has been presented in a much simpler language to make it accessible to everyone. At the same time, the experts recommended us to produce the guide in the simplest format, digital format, I mean. I'm talking about PDF, which would not detract from its quality, but would significantly reduce the costs. Last but not least, I would like to mention that the interaction with the CARDET team, experts and colleagues from other countries has broadened our horizons with a multitude of innovative ideas that have continuously inspired, mobilized, and stimulated us. Thanks to our participation in this training session, we already have people taking their first steps in business, following our guide. And we are always open to support and advise them in their journey.
Great, thank you very much, Cesara, also for your comments. Before passing the floor back to Maria Victoria, I don't want to spend more time on this, but allow me to highlight two important points that were mentioned by our two speakers. One is inspiration. This is very important in any aspect of our professional or personal life. And the second is structure methodology. This was mentioned by Cesara. I mean, the coaching sessions, it wasn't only to give knowledge. I mean, the knowledge is widespread in our days. We can find it all in the internet, of course, from reliable sources. But we have all easy access. The most important thing is to have very structured methodology, to be very practical, and to follow step by step all of the procedure. And of course, as I said before, to be inspired by a trainer who is in the field. This is very important. That's all by my side. I would like to thank the three speakers from the two panels. And I will pass the floor to Maria Victoria for the Q&A part of this panel too. Thank you.
Thank you, Marinos. Thank you, Najib and Cesara. Support to business startup is always a very triggering topic for schools. I think it was very interesting what you shared and how both EZIT and the VET school in Moldova are trying to bridge the students towards entrepreneurship and business startup. Thank you for this very honest sharing. I don't know if there is anybody in the audience that would like to share their own experience, or if you have questions for the speakers. I see that also our colleagues from Tunisia, Tunisia Center in Bizerte was also a partner in our project. Welcome, colleagues from Tunisia.
Good morning.
Morning.
Yeah.
So we are in this open session for everyone that would like to share ideas, what works well in supporting business startups, what are the challenges for a VET school. We know that education and training go along different lines than entrepreneurs do sometimes. So being a bridge for the students between a provision of education and training, knowledge, skills, and setting up a business that is sustainable in the market is very important, and it's quite demanding. Yeah. I don't know, I don't see anyone raising hands or in the chat, but you can take the floor straight away if you want to share anything. Okay, so it seems like it was very clear what was exposed by the panelists. Azizaga is asking the floor. Please, Azizaga, go ahead.
Thank you so much, Maria Victoria. I would like also share some important aspect about our product, if you don't mind. I didn't mention before, our internationalization draft strategy already has been prepared, and this carefully analyzed by our center's strengths to deliver on its mandate and work focus on exciting relationships. And also we use various external experts. They consulted also in these topics and how to develop in internationalization strategic wide for further centers engagement to promote our internationalization and delivery of our centers. And I would like to mention that today, together with development of information technology, internationalization is one of the predominant trends in present day our society, and having an impact on all citizens. In this field of vocational training, international influence have been evident for many years, and I think that international dimensions in training and vocational education is very important. And I also, at the end, I am therefore very pleased with all the initiatives which result from the ETF Corporation and all of my colleagues from CARDED. And I am also thankful for all the support and the kind assistance. That's all from my side. I just want to mention this.
Thanks a lot, Azizaga. It has been a big pleasure also for us in ETF to work under this project. So we are getting to the end of our meeting. I would like to share with you what is next. But before doing that, we would like to have a nice memory of this webinar through a picture. that we would like to take with all the participants, if you agree. So we kindly ask you, if you have no major objection, to switch on your camera so that my colleagues can kindly take a picture, a family picture as it is called. So I see that more and more cameras are on. I think we are ready for the picture. If you would like to smile, 3, 2, 1. Another one for the press. Done? Are we happy, or we want to take a last one? A last one?
A last one, okay.
Okay.
Please smile on with the camera on.
Cameras are on. Good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, colleagues. Okay, so what's next? There are, first of all, thank again to all the speakers. And I would like to say also for the honesty of sharing all the time through this project, what are the challenges, what are the difficulties, in a very open way and in a very constructive way. That was very, very interesting. And also I'm very grateful for this. Now, what will follow? And this is for everyone that is interested in this topic, how to become more entrepreneurial as a training center for vocational excellence. On our website, please look at the chat. In the link that my colleague Loretta kindly shared, you will find the recording of this session in a couple of days, and also of the previous session that took place on the 1st of March. So the recording are available online. Already online, you also find the 4 webinars that we did last year on the 4 areas that have been touched upon in the sharing session. I repeat them again. The 2 areas of today, internationalization, support to business startups, but also digitalization and SDGs. These 4 webinars took place last year. I'm saying this for the newcomers. And in these webinars, we had practitioners from each of the area, and they were sharing with us success factors, challenges around the 4 areas. So please, if you are interested, just register in our open space, and then you have free access to the recording of the webinars and to what was shared by the different experts. The third thing that we are very glad to share with you all is under production, under finalization, and this is what we call the concept of what is an entrepreneurial center of vocational excellence. Today and beginning of this month, we heard about practices of becoming more entrepreneurial. Building on this, we would like also to conceptualize a bit what is an entrepreneurial center, and also to finalize a self-assessment tool that has been piloted in this project. And this self-assessment tool can help any center to assess how far they are in the entrepreneurial journey. So the concept and the self-assessment tool will be available in the next weeks. It won't be before end of May. So, but you are most welcome to visit regularly our open space and also our website to be informed about this project and these deliverables. With these deliverables, our partnership will end the phase 1 of what is an entrepreneurial vet center of excellence. But in ETF, we are already thinking of a phase 2 that is under elaboration. So for any interest in this area, please be in touch with us. You have our email. Be in touch with me, particularly as leader of this partnership, and share ideas, share questions, and so that the second part of the journey, maybe we'll have new friends and colleagues. This is all from my side. I would like to thank my colleague Enea and Loretta that are here with me in ETF, and also Marinos in particular for the very big efforts and the successful support to ETF, and all the COVES, all the colleagues, and now also friends that are sharing our work. Thank you all. I wish you all a very nice day. Ramadan Karim for those who are celebrating it. Good Easter, good Catholic Easter on the 9th for the Catholics, good Orthodox Easter for the Orthodox. So we are all sharing also this spiritual phase, all of us, for those who believe. For everyone, in any case, have a good day, stay healthy. Thank you from Torino, thank you from ETF.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And goodbye.
Goodbye, thank you.
Thank you.
Stay in touch.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Recording.